You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is March 1st, 2016, Super Tuesday, and it is another episode of the Impact Implosion here on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. We will not get into politics here, but honestly, I am not happy. But we will introduce myself, Seth Draken, and on the other end, Mike Pollan.
Ooh, Donald Trump.
I'm done with the GOP, that's all I'll say. Done. Washing my hands of it. Was a Republican.
Like
no longer it.
Washing her hands of Matt Hardy and Rockstar Spud.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that later.
We got to start off with some news that there was actually a bit of news that happened.
TNA for sale again.
Apparently this time it might actually be legit because Panda Energy is no longer going to be supporting TNA financially.
Oh no, Dixie's dad won't support her.
Not anymore. They're just done with it.
Fuck you and your shitty company.
TNA is going to release an AJ Styles DVD.
I've heard mixed feelings about this. I actually like this idea.
Yeah. And TNA's lawsuit against Scott Steiner has been dismissed, which means TNA lost.
Big Papa Pump, it's your hookup. Holla if you're suing.
Yep, because the judge said TNA cannot sue somebody for making disparaging remarks. Because none of this is live.
God.
TNA also cannot refile this case down the road.
Terrible.
And now TNA is in talks with outside investors.
No.
Because, yes, they are desperate now.
They're more desperate than a woman looking for a date on Tinder.
We'll get to why they're desperate after lockdown, but we will get to the first show, which was the show before lockdown.
Yep.
First, EC3 enters the building, and we see Dixie glad to see him. Dixie reveals that lockdown next week, EC3 gets his rematch.
Yep.
But EC3 says that's next week. He has something personal he wants to talk about tonight. So EC3 comes out, and the crowd volume is actually better than it was last week. Still a little down, but we can hear the
Yep. You're doing the wave.
EC3 says, I need my fists to be a punchin', and I want to kick Tyra's ass.
And Tyrus comes out, minus Maxwell, and boy, he can't cut a promo.
Yeah, he has new theme. He has theme music that he will probably never use again. EC3 responds by calling him salami tits.
Oh, God.
And then Tyra says, you don't want none of this. You don't want none of this. And EC3...
Despite the fact that he just challenged you.
Yeah, he enters the ring like, you do not want any of this. And EC3's like, you done? And he's like, yeah, I'm done. So
you were done before WWE caught you.
Yeah, Matt Hardy comes in for the sneak attack. EC3 gets an advantage with a chair, which Matt brought in, by the way. Matt Hardy gets a chair, and they both run like cowards. And then Matt tries to say, oh, you're tough with the chair. And I'm like, you brought in the chair, motherfucker. Dumbass. Here comes the tag team. He says, EC3, they'll go find a partner. Me and Tyrus against you and your partner tonight. I'd like you to remember that Matt said you need to find a partner.
Whoever will that partner be?
So Eric Young is in the ring with Bram and a mic telling fans to look at him. Rob Conway?
Look at me, I am God. I got the same promo every week.
Are you Rob Conway? Just look at me.
Ain't I a sight to see? Ain't nobody in the world looking for me.
So EY challenges people from the crowd and then decides, nah, you don't know you deserve it. So then Beer Money comes out and EY's like, rude, get in the back of the line. I beat you for the belt.
He has a rematch clause.
Yeah, of course, they never mentioned this, but I thought rematch clause here. But then James Storm says, you may have beaten him, but you've never beaten me. And I'm like, world title series? He did
Not
beat
for
you.
the King of the Mountain title.
What?
Not for the King of the Mountain title.
I know, but he has beaten him.
And a countless amount of other times, if you go through TNA history, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, double count out. EY keeps the belt.
Sets up Lockdown when they
Two sides are
basically
fighting.
have segments throughout the show where they brawl.
Yep, throughout the arena. Drew wants to talk to EC3 and offers his services. EC3 says, no, I want to stand alone. EC3, you are not Batista.
Although...
Josh is like, I guess I respect the decision of EC3 to stand alone. I'm like, no, that's being stupid. EC3...
Especially when you got a guy like Tyrus is about 400 pounds.
I know. Matt told him to grab a partner. That doesn't mean you fight on your own. That means you get a fucking partner.
Find a partner.
Yeah, it just made EC3 an idiot for no reason.
Is Monsters Ball next?
Next is more Bram and EY and Beer Money fighting.
Where the fuck is security through all this?
No. Then it's Maria's place of worship as he introduces us to the Miracle Mike Bennett.
And he squashes Andrews.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, yeah.
And then Drew, he tries to beat him up some more, and...
By the way, you don't need to be a star to walk the red carpet. And it's like to promote E's coverage of the Oscars. So be
Leonardo DiCaprio has won an Oscar.
Yep, by the way, yeah, that did happen, so... An attempt to promote that, but yeah, you kind of still need to be a star to walk the red carpet. So Bennett wins with the Miracle in Progress that was used to be called the Divine Intervention, but it's a stupid name. And Drew comes out, but Bennett starts beating up on Mark Andrews some more. Drew comes out, but he needs time to take his shirt off before he can fight, and that gives Bennett enough time to leave.
You idiot! Don't wear a shirt next time.
Yeah. Decay cuts a promo behind bars, and some guy, who's Jimmy Havoc, comes in talking about having a pass with Rosemary.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Havoc.
I know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Drew got involved against Mike Bennett. He said, I got involved because Mike Bennett is an ass, and I liked Andrews. So Mike attacks him from behind.
And rams him into a door.
By the way, did Drew just call Bennett a C word at one point?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously. And, oh God, we got the O'Darg hype. And then Matt Hardy and Tyrus come to intimidate Spud about not getting involved in their business again. Don't get involved again.
We'll get into Spud more, but I'm not sure I can buy him as a heel. Not
more
even
time to hype up Kurt Angle's last match in 3 weeks.
Against Robert Lashley.
Against Franklin Lashley.
The big turtle.
The big turtle, yeah. The turtle.
We call him Franklin Gilbert Lashley.
Yep. Time for Monsters Ball.
Monsters
and of course,
Balls.
Biss found the barbed wire board.
Yep.
And then we got to see Bret Hart. We got to commercial break. Brett Favre selling us socks.
His career's certainly gone downhill.
Oh, he'll be back later to sell us something else. But yeah, he's selling us socks here. Gold tone socks.
Well, at least he's not Hogan doing Rent-A-Center ads.
Yep, so Steve then with a drop-toe hold onto Abyss's groin. Some may call this questionable. And Janice gets introduced.
Janice.
And in the usual spots, Abyss swings Janice, misses, gets us stuck in the turnbuckle, although not really.
Oh, that's spot.
Yeah. Abyss got Sunset powerbombed onto chairs and a trash can.
How does Abyss have a back?
I don't know, but double foot stomp onto a chair that was on Steve's back. Ouch.
They also did a spot where Steve dumped the tax on Abyss. Not Abyss, Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, Abyss has the bag. He's going to reveal the contents of the bag, which are tax, but he gets hit.
Then Abyss match. What else would be in the bag?
Abyss gets charged into the barbed wire board. So, Steve, Eddie Edwards is stuck in the chair. Steve's
And
about
he
to hit him
dumps
with
tax on
another
him.
chair, and then Rosemary says, "Stop! I'm going to dump tax on him."
That sounds fun.
So, and then Rosemary tries to spit at Davy, but Eddie covers her mouth, and then Davy macks on her, steals the mist from her mouth, and then spit it in her face.
What a spot. What a spot.
I wonder how
It's
Angelina
inventive, I'll give him that one.
Yep.
Mm.
Wolves hit their finisher on Steve, who lands on the tax for the pin. Ouch. And the Wolves got their tag titles back. EC3's in the hallways. He bumps into Spud. He specifically tells Spud not to help him. I want to take this match alone.
Next.
Dollhouse taking on Madison and Gail Kim, or as I like to call her, Kabuki Taker.
Kabuki Taker!
Gee, I wonder who's winning, since the Dollhouse have jobber entrances.
And only one of them actually really matters, but anyway.
Yeah. Marty with the weird Samoan drop. Like I think
she's terrible.
Yeah, her leg just gave out, I think, or something. It's just really, she was like,
my leg hurts.
Yeah.
Let me just drop you.
Roles are reversed here, as Madison is the one who gets the hot tag, and Gail is the face in distress.
Should be the other way around.
I know. Madison wins, pins Marty with a roll-up. Awkward match.
Well, you got two women that are good in the ring and two that aren't.
Actually,
one that isn't, and then one that is. It's Jade and Marty.
Yeah. Two women that are both good in the ring, and two women that aren't good in the ring. Both on each side. Both each has one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dollhouse attacked the faces from behind, and Velvet comes to save the day.
Here
and she beats up all three of them. So, next week, Lethal Lockdown.
With the girls.
Don't know how to feel about that. In fact, I don't feel good about that. Then Mahabali Shira shows up to reveal his partner from India.
You don't feel good about.
His partner from India, O'Darg.
He's from frickin' somewhere in Ireland.
Let me say this. This guy says he's from India, and here comes the whitest dude you will ever see in a freaking mask.
Somewhere Sanjay Dutt is face blaming.
With a freaking Scottish accent.
Sanjay Dutt, Ranjan Singh, Kali.
I know.
They're all going, this guy's not Indian.
No. So,
Safari.
Then we go to commercial break, and we see Brett Favre, Shillings, Razors.
No play for Mr. Gray.
I'm getting back to the game. So,
no, you're not.
I'm sending well, he is getting back to the game. I'm sending dick pics, so makes sense.
Nobody wants to do that.
No. So in the parking lot, Beer Money and Bram and Eli still fighting in the parking lot. And Josh with the great question: where's security?
I was asking that earlier.
I know. Where's security here?
Did they fall asleep?
I know.
So like security at the mall in every cartoon ever, where they fall asleep and the bad guys come in.
So Eli Drake and Jesse Goddard take on Mahabali Shira and O'Darg the Great. TNA has problems calling it either the Shira Shuffle or the Shira Shake.
Whatever it is, it's not over.
Yeah. So here's the problem with O'Darg. Has the same theme music, has the same shirt, but as they pointed out, it's backwards, even though that doesn't work. So, it's inside out.
Terrible.
It's also, he is terrible, but yeah, he is not, he still has the fanny pack. He talks like Grado. He basically walks like Grado. He acts like Grado in every sense of the word.
He talks like a Grado and walks like a Grado. He is a Grado.
So, even the announcers know it's Grado. And it gets worse. Because as I am watching this, I am like, oh my god, how could this get any worse? He takes his mask off to win the match. And then he goes under the ring and hides his face back in the mask.
Ugh.
So
next
week we're going to get O'Darg versus Eli Drake. Even though technically Grado should be gone because he showed the mask. I don't care if it was on the opposite side of the camera. The fans saw it. Everyone in the back probably saw it. He doesn't have... God, this makes no sense. He lost the mask. We saw him.
And Pope suddenly likes him for some reason.
Yeah. So, time for the main event handicap match. Matt Hardy and Tyrus take on EC3 only because EC3 refuses to find a partner. And Matt is laughing at EC3 for being an idiot. And most of the match, EC3 is getting beat up. So, here comes Spud to be EC3's partner. And EC3 is like, F it, I'll tag him in. And this is where we get a botch. A very bad botch.
What is it?
Tyrus and Matt Hardy are on the outside. EC3 goes up to the top rope. You think you're supposed to get what's supposed to happen here.
Well, his body. He's going to take both of them out.
He's going to take both. He's going to jump up, and they're both supposed to catch him.
And neither one catches him.
Neither one catches him, and he falls flat on the floor. And you know this is not...
1, 2, 3 kid doing that in a match with Razor Ramon.
And you know this is a botch because immediately EC3 gets up, and they both fall down like they're morons.
Yep.
Why is Matt the champion? So EC3 wins with the once per center. Challenger pinned the champ. Spud with a bow, allowing Bow with the EC3 to be in the ring alone as the show ends. C+.
Next, Lockdown.
Lockdown. Actually, no, I'm giving this a C. Oh, the old art thing pissed me off too much.
That's about to piss you off more.
Oh, yes, it is. It gets worse. It gets fucking worse. So, I went to sleep, which is why we didn't have a show last week, or the week before. Let's have this emergency, but yeah, let's get the Beer Money takes on EY and Bram.
I like this. This was okay.
Yeah, this was a good match. They have a freaking camera on the Boozer Cruiser now, which is more wasteful spending by TNA.
A company that's about probably 6 steps from going under.
I know. So, the start of the match, Bram beats up on James Storm and locks him out of the cage, so it's just him and EY versus Bobby Roode. Josh just pointed out the logic of one beats down Roode and the other escapes the cage. Shush, Josh. They can win this match easily because one could just beat him down and the other one could just get out of the cage. Match over.
Yep.
Thank you for ruining that, Josh. So, Bram and James Storm, at some point, so as they did this early, James Storm tries to climb the ring, Bram kicks him off. Tries to climb.
Hardy's Edge and Christian Unforgiven 2000.
Yeah. So, then later on, James Storm climbs the cage, and Bram is in position to kick him.
And doesn't.
But because James Storm is supposed to climb the cage faster, to the point where you can't kick him, but it's a mess up, Bram just stands there, looking like an idiot. Bram climbs in, and Storm's already in the on top.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is stupid.
That was stupid.
So, anyway, Beer Money won with a DWI. Good match.
Yep, good, probably the best on the show.
And then, backstage, we find out Madison Rayne got Tanya Hardinged.
Why?
She got her leg taken out, so it's Gail, Velvet, and fuck. So, EC3 says tonight is all right for fighting, to paraphrase Elton John, even though I thought Saturday night was all right for fighting. And EC3 accused Rebby of having...
He's going to do the Crocodile Rock.
He accused Rebby for having hepatitis Hardy.
Hepatitis Hardy. Ah.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
Because she has a disease.
I know. Yeah. So EC3 wants to talk to Rockstar Spud as he's... remember, EC3's in the ring. So commentators talk about how honorable Rockstar Spud is. Oh, dear God, they are setting up the betrayal. So EC3 and Spud shake hands. Spud says he will always do the right thing, what is right. Really selling this hard. But here comes Matt Hardy with Spud's original TNA theme music. Because, yes, originally his TNA theme music is what Matt Hardy's got now. other than the I am iconic thing.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, yes. Go back and watch the debut episode of when Rockstar Spud comes into TNA after winning British Boot Camp. He's using Matt Hardy's theme music. Mind blown. There. So Matt Hardy says, everything is his. This ring is mine. This arena's mine.
You Stephanie McMahon now?
He says, it'll be just the two of us in the cage, and I'm going to kick your ass. And Jimmy
Matt
Havoc...
Hardy just goes on about nothing.
Yep. Jimmy Havoc, they talk about him backstage. He wants Rosemary back, and she's going with the she was mine before she was yours storyline.
Oh, God, the Ric Flair and Havoc storyline. The only thing missing
Also,
is the fake pictures.
The Steve Austin, Chris Adams storyline.
Yeah.
So, yes. Tigre Uno versus random guy who just so happens to be the champion.
With the Hurricane.
Yes. Trevor Lee doesn't even get his own theme music or entrance video. It's basically Shannon Moore.
They can afford everything else, but they can't make a theme song, and Seth can't do a theme song for the X Division champion.
Yes, for the freaking... And Edge Pope's like, Trevor Lee will be among the greats, and I'm like, if this trend of being generic as fuck continues, no, he will not. He will be... Who was that guy again? Trevor Lee?
Who's he?
Who the hell's he? I don't remember that guy. The bearded guy? The guy who looks like Spoonie if he was roided out? So,
yep.
Someone's like, imagine a face like Trevor Lee being at the Oscars. That will never happen. So, Tigre Uno does that stupid drop kick. That stupid leg drop that basically his butt lands on Trevor's junk. That Moon needs to go.
Didn't he do a spot off the top of the cage?
That was later. Oh yeah, he did that in this match. Yeah, he did that. He did that. This is the cage match show. Yeah, I forgot about that.
This is in every cage match ever somehow.
Yeah. And then Trevor Lee wins with his Fisherman's Buster roll-up pin combination.
Generic Trevor Lee.
So backstage, Maria talks, oh, Gail, you have no one to protect you now. Madison Rain's gone, and now it's just you. And Gail's like, you know what? You want to prove something? Get in the ring and be our partner. I'm like, what?
Are you stupid?
Are you fucking stupid? She just insulted you. She just taunted you.
Like, you know what's coming here if you do that, right?
Are you seriously? Did you seriously just think Maria's going to be your partner tonight? In what world does this seem like a good idea?
Creative.
I don't know. But anyways, we see Rosemary singing Itsy Bitsy Spider, and Jimmy Havoc gives her a gift saying he wants her back in his life. So it's lockdown time.
Where the fuck did this storyline come from?
What, the Jimmy Havoc one?
Yes.
Well, Jimmy Havoc's psychotic. He'd be perfect.
Ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Kind of works. I don't mind it.
Luckily, it's only for these shows.
All right. It may be for more. Who knows?
Who knows? Lethal
lockdown time as Jade starts for the dollhouse and Gail starts for the faces. This is smart.
Mm-hmm.
This is the two with the best wrestling moves. And Marty Bell comes in for the heels because, of course, the heels got to have the 2-on-1 advantage. And then Velvet Sky comes out, which basically means the doll has a 2 and a 1.5 advantage. Yes, Velvet is half a woman in this match. Rebel comes in, so it's 3 and 1.5 woman. And I just remembered someone tried to remind me that Bully Ray tried to get fans to convince WWE to acquire Velvet Sky. And the fans were like, nah. No. So Maria comes out.
NXT.
Maria comes out, and she just closes the cage and locks it. Gail has a surprise face for her doing this.
Really, Gail?
Really? You're surprised? She
Come
never
on
said.
Now.
I mean, she never said yes. She never said yes. I'll be your partner in the first place. You just said, "Be my partner." And I was like, "How do you gain respect by turning on Gail and Velvet?" Easy. She never agreed to be their partner in the first place.
And Dollhouse wins.
So, and Josh, thankfully, reminds us Gail beat all 3 Dollhouse members at one time. So they still have a chance. And the crowd's like, this is awesome. No, it's not.
No.
This is pretty bad. And TNA misses, of course, the top of the cage. So this is not Lethal Lockdown, really. This is just a cage match with chairs, weapons on it. This is not Lethal Lockdown, because there would be a roof.
Chairs and sticks.
Yep. So Gail Kim hits the cradle pile driver on a steel chair.
Jade hits that.
Oh, Jade hits that, yeah, on Gail.
And
wins. Yep.
Setting up the knockout title program that we'll see next week.
Yep. So Pope's like, we are all winners in this match. I'm like, no, we're not.
Him and the
like,
fans.
None of us are winners in this match. We all lost. This was terrible. So Kurt stops EC3 and saying, I'm proud of you, man. Good luck out there. And then we get a Decay music video that ends with Rosemary spitting at the camera.
She's the female Tajiri.
Here comes Kurt Angle for a promo.
And he's going to face Bobby Lashley in 2 weeks.
And he's like, I'm going to face it. So here comes Franklin, and they gave him a mic. Oh, dear.
I didn't see this.
Franklin basically disappointed by Kurt losing to Drew in 2 weeks. You just lost Drew in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, man.
I'm disappointed in you, Kurt.
They want you to be Kurt Angle. 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 Yes, he said it 3 times. 4 times,
play
actually.
That on loop.
Yes. And Frank's like, well, we can fight right now, and I'll show you I'm Kurt Angle. And Franklin's like, nah, I got 2 weeks. So
teasing the match and the heel turn.
Eli Drake comes to the ring and says, get out here. Eli says he's going to take Odark's mask off, expose him, even though that happened last week. Josh now realizes, and Josh is like, realizes that Odark is Grado spelled backwards. No, really? And then Pope's like, well, we don't know it's Grado. And he's like, he took his mask off last week. And Pope's like, well, it's debatable that it's Grado. We didn't get a good look at him. I'm like, we did. Even though the hard camera, everyone in the arena did. And I'm sure several people backstage got a good look at him. They could have told somebody, yeah, that's Grado.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a point in this match where Jesse Goddard is also out there, and he tries to help Eli Drake out of the match, and then Odark decides, we need to see Eli Drake's butt. We need to see this.
Ladies.
So Shira comes out, takes out fucking Jesse. So
Jesse's a frickin' buffoon.
Yep, so Shira takes him out, because Shira needs to get involved here. So for several minutes, Eli Drake does not have his tights pulled up. So yes, he is wrestling with his ass hanging out.
My ass is hanging.
So, can someone pull up Eli Drake's tights so we don't have to see this?
Nope.
Goofy Drakey, put up your pants. Up your pants. So Odark wins in the most ridiculous way possible. Let me explain what happens here. Odark climbs the cage. Jesse catches him, has him by the mask. Odark loses the mask and goes to the floor.
Yay.
And then realizes that Eli's holding his mask, so he tries to hide his face behind a towel. Even though he took 2 minutes, we all saw his face for 2 minutes before he decided to hide the towel. And yes, I'm calling security here. But then Decay is mad at Jimmy Havoc for messing around with Rosemary, and Jimmy says, Rosemary ain't property. She was my partner in Muse. I'm hardcore and crazy. And says, she was perfect with me. She's useless with you. Decay's response, beat him up. So then Billy Corgan comes out, finally enters the arena in a freaking coat and stuff, and Grado tries to plead his case. And he's like, dude, come on, man. I need a case. And security comes in, he's like, dude, it's out of my hands. You were fired. So he is forced out of the arena. And we would hopefully this would be the last time, but no, it's not. I hate to warn you. So time to hype up next week in a Miracle promo. And then it's time for our main event, as Matt Hardy defends the world title against EC3. EC3 comes out, conducting the crowd with his music. And then Matt Hardy comes down while Eli Tyrus is talking about, "Champ is here! Champ is here!" As if he's a guard saying "Dead Man Walking." As if he's a guard yelling "Dead Man Walking." "Champ is here, everybody! Champ is here! Champ is here!" So, main event time, commercial break. And then after those commercials are over, we're back, match starts. Matt gets the advantage. Tyrus throws in a steel chair so he can use it. Side effect onto the steel chair, only gets a 2 count. Tyrus tries to block EC3's way to escape, but EC3 just flips Tyrus off. You know, because he's trying to use the door. So Tyrus, because of that, Tyrus gets in the cage and hits his finisher on EC3. And Tyrus now has a chains that he's going to try to cuff EC3 to. And he gets cuffed instead. But after this, Matt Hardy hits him with Twist of Fate, tries to pin him, 2 count. Twist of Fate with EC3's neck through the chair, 2 count again. But EC3 is bleeding out of the mouth, and both men are coming towards the door. Remy comes out with a hammer, but Spud is out there to stop her. And then, heel turn. Slams the door into EC3's face and helps Matt out of the cage.
And gives EC3 a concerto.
Heel turn. In many ways, this does make sense. I just wish it wasn't helping Matt Hardy.
Anybody but Hardy.
Yeah, really. It's just, it makes sense. Spud is absolutely pissed at this guy. It's like, "You sold out, Spud!" And I'm like, well, he got revenge. So, Matt allows,
humiliated him.
Matt gives Spud a chair and says, "Hit him!" So he hits him with a steel chair onto the steel steps. Spud smiles, and he tells C3 that he always does the right thing. And I gave the show another C. Not any better or worse than the last week before it.
Yep.
Same problems, same pluses.
Next.
And now, it's time for our after lockdown. Oh, by the way, I gotta mention, Lockdown's ratings, the lowest TNA has ever seen. They lost 200,000 viewers.
That Matt Hardy title run is really paying off.
Really paying off. Top-notch job, guys. So, Spud is happy to see, Matt is happy to see Spud and says, "You're my number 1 guy." And I'm like, what is Tyrus, chopped liver? He's the guy who takes
Tyrus is number 2.
He's always number 2. He's always been number 2. So, we are starting off with Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode. Way to promote this match, everyone. It's the curtain jerker.
Now, that was weird.
It was weird. I'm like, awkward. So, they'll talk about Kurt Angle being a TNA Hall of Famer. I'm like, is he an extraordinary gentleman's organization Hall of Famer? I don't think so. Bobby Roode is, though.
This is a good match, but just a weird placement on the show.
I know. It was a good match, yes. But there is one problem I have here.
All the finishers.
All the finishers, all the near count finishers. Seriously, TNA, they do this every freaking week. You need to stop.
You're burying all of your finishes.
Yeah, you really are. WWE does do this sometimes, not every week.
And Angle wins to set him up for Lashley next week, and then Storm comes out, and Roode and Storm do promos about Angle.
Yeah, by the way, best part, he says, "Short Baby Roode has something to say. So let's hear what he has to say after these messages." And then Bobby Roode says Kurt Angle is the best professional wrestler ever. No, he's not. And so they have a beer bash, and I'm like, Kurt doesn't drink beer. He drinks milk. And I guess they realized it, so they gave him a carton of milk. And Kurt chugs it.
That milky must be laced with something when he drives.
Yeah, he drinks milk. He's Kurt Angle.
Let's not destroy the image.
Hush about that. Hush about those DUIs. Hush about those. So
we got to cover those up.
the Davey and Edwy come out, and they got to get Eddie, and they got to give more verbal BJs to Kurt Angle, American Strong Style BJs.
And set up the tag title match for next week.
Eddie with the heel promo saying they will be the best tag team in TNA history. Eddie kind of turned a little heel here with that. So Here comes Matt Hardy with his goon, his wife, but no Maxwell this time. Must be bedtime.
Which one's the goon? Tyrus or Rebby?
I said his goon, his wife, but no Maxwell.
Oh.
I said wife, first of all. I said wife also, so Tyrus is the goon. So Bragg says, I beat EC3 again, and I've beaten EC3 so many times, it's become boring. You beat him twice.
Beat him twice.
Let me count how many times EC3's beaten you. 1, 2, 3. I believe he's beaten 4 times. Yeah, I believe he's beaten him 4 times. Yeah, so, stop, Matt. You've beaten him only twice.
Stop. So,
EC3 will never get a title shot again. And then he calls out Spud to thank him for taking the money and helping him. Spud has his current music of the face music, but as a leather jacket that he came out when he came originally to the company.
Yep.
Spud is mad at the fans for not being there for him when he needed them. Actually, they were. They are jealous of his success. And he told EC3, what I did was just revenge.
Was best for business.
I did what was right. I stand here to dedicate my life to Matt Hardy brand and all this stable. And Matt Hardy's the greatest TNA champion of all time.
No.
After Chris Christie, this is the second time I've seen another person I liked lose a lot of respect from me. So, here comes EC3 with the chair. And Tyrus attacks and gets beat up. Matt tries sneak neck, he gets beat up. Tyrus tries the same thing. Spud tries the same thing. EC3 no-souls it, so Spud runs.
And EC3 says he wants to fight with Spud. He doesn't want a match.
No ref, no rules. So Gail Kim and are like, about what happened? They're like, I'm mad. I'm going to come out there and call Maria out.
You're mad because you are a moron, right?
You're a fucking moron. You're mad at Maria for turning on that? You? Really? Another Decay music video.
Decay.
So, the Matt Hardy and company are mad about this match, and Dixie, they're trying to get Dixie to ixnay it, to fire Spud, to fire...
I'm hoping eventually during one of Matt's promos he just loses his voice.
And Dixie's... What?
And I'm hoping during one of Matt's promos, without screaming he does, that he eventually just loses his voice.
Who?
Matt.
Oh, Matt,
Hardy.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Matt Hardy, sorry. Sorry, ear issues. Yeah. I have ear issues, too, so... Dixie is mad at them and says, you know what? I washed my hands of this. It's going to be an unsanctioned fight between you and EC3. Sorry, Spud. Not sorry. So, time for Abyss to wrestle one-on-one. Oh, of course, Dixie Carter's wearing ponchos. Because that's a thing for her.
Abyss and Jimmy Havoc, no DQ.
Yes, Abyss has got to wrestle one-on-one shit. This was actually good. I was surprised.
Yep.
Havoc tries a suicide dive onto Abyss. Abyss responds, throws a trash can at him.
Catch with your head.
Abyss grabs the cheese grater. And I'm like, he's going to get it to the balls. And meanwhile, Josh is like, hey, Pope, why don't you have a sit-down interview with Rosemary in the dark alley? And they're like, well, it better be so dark because I'm not going to be there. Just as predicted, Abyss gets the cheese grater to his junk.
He's got to have no junk left all the time to get either that or Janice to it.
Yes. Havoc is about to go high, but Rosemary and Crazy Steve distract him, so Abyss hits Havoc with the chair, just throws it at him, and he falls through a table.
Yep.
Rosemary then has Janice and gives it to Abyss. Abyss misses. Janice hits the table. And the best part of this, the table wins because some of the nails fall off Janice.
Yep.
The fucking table wins.
That table raped my woman.
So Abyss goes through the table, but Jimmy Havoc only gets a 2 count. Abyss brings in the barbed wire board, and he now has Janice. Actually, no, he didn't have Janice. I forgot who. Jimmy Havoc had Janice. Beat him up, tried to swing at Janice.
More men have had Janice than...
Abyss Black Hole slams Havoc onto the barbed wire for the win.
Yep.
This was actually an okay match. They did make Havoc look hardcore like a motherfucker.
Yep.
So, another Miracle promo. Reminding us that's still to come, Drew Galloway versus Mike Bennett.
And the Maria promo next, that went, the Gail Kim Maria segment next that went way
next
too long.
is EC3 backstage, sarcastically clapping for Spud, waiting a year for revenge, and says, Spud, you're not a gazelle, you're not a lion, you're a freaking cow. Going to the sun. So then, here comes Gail Kim.
Oh, this segment.
Mad about being betrayed by someone who never said yes to being your partner. So Gail Kim, her defense is like, I love wrestling. And I'm like, dear God.
You tell me one of those promos, huh?
You're going to try one of those promos about how she doesn't love wrestling and you do. And these fans are obviously buying it. But Gail Kim wants to fight Maria.
She's
and Maria's
not a
like,
wrestler.
You want to see me fight Gail? And the crowd's like, yeah. And I'm like, no. And you want to see me fight Gail? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, and then Maria says, no. And I'm like, I agree.
And Gail chases her and gets attacked by Jade.
You know what? And actually, best part, Gail's like, I don't want to be like anything like you. It's like, you don't want to be world famous? Then why'd you marry a world famous chef? You do want to be famous.
It's just Maria had an easier time.
And then he had to make a Trump reference.
Oh, God.
Maria says, I'm never getting the ring with you because I'm a lady. Gail tries to chase her, but gets ambushed by Jade, who I think might have missed her spot a bit.
Yep.
Because Gail got farther than she should have. So Jade hits Gail with the belt and says, I want your belt.
Belongs to me now.
So here comes Eric Young with Bram, and he's going to defend. He wants anyone in the back to defend his King of the Mountain belt. Here comes
Damo.
this big Damo, this big dude. And he's like, and I want you to notice, if you can see Big Damo, he looks and he talks a lot more. He's not even less than a day here. And he looks more interesting, more unique than Trevor Lee, who has been here for several weeks. Damo looks like he belongs, other than the hair.
Trevor Lee looks like they just picked him off out of
he looks like an enhancement talent.
Yeah.
Like fucking enhancement talent. So
they were like, okay, let's look at all these guys.
Eric Young slaps Damo. And Damo's responds with a dropkick. Fucking runs at him with a dropkick. And Josh is like, there's going to be memes about this now. And I'm like, no, there isn't. It's impressive, but there ain't going to be. So, this was actually pretty good. Good fight. Damo looked impressive, but EY won with a pile driver. He was able to pick up Damo for the pile driver.
So Galloway and Bennett is next.
Yep.
And this is good.
Galloway hits the Claymore and then goes for his modified crossface that he calls the Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
And Maria puts Bennett's foot on the ropes, and this, because Drew knows she did it, and she's like, I didn't do it! His foot was on the ropes!
The referee knows she did it.
Yeah, she's yelling. So, Drew was distracted. Mike rolls him up with hands in the tights for the win. This was probably the weakest match so far. I'm sorry. Yep. I hate to say this. Mike Bennett's not, he's average.
Yes.
And when you're in a company like this, you can't be average. You've got to have something that separates you.
That's why WWE has never called him.
I know, because he's average. So Matt Hardy and Tyrus are backstage pumping Spud up like, you're a tiger, man. You kill him. He's like, kill him. And then fucking
they each try to attack EC3. in the back.
Oh, you forgot Grado. The fucking Grado segment.
Let's forget about that anyway.
Where he's backstage
He's gonna
talking
prove
about,
that he was screwed.
I was screwed. So Rockstar Spud comes out, and he has the announcer say that he's formerly from Birmingham, England, because he is a heel now.
Ugh.
And then backstage, EC3's coming out, ready for the match. Tyrus attacks him, gets beat up. Matt attacks him, gets beat up. They both get locked into the back.
Way to make the heel faction look weak.
Yep. So
they're going to attack him all. They're going to get locked in the crate.
Spud doesn't know about this, so he's like, "Where is he? Where is he? Come on, man!" And
he is coming.
EC3 comes out. Spud is scared. Commercial break. And then after the commercial break, we see them already fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the fight started during the commercial break.
Oh no, the fight's out.
Why the hell would you do this, TNA? So
because.
And TNA is like, Spud, EC3 might kill. And Josh's response is good.
What a heartless prick.
What a heartless prick. So this was basically not your normal ass-kicking match, because Spud got in some offense here. Even though it was mostly cheap offense, but he got in offense.
In between getting tossed into the crowd. And
Spud was good here. So he did not, until the end, in the end he was finally dragging away. Most of the match, he did not try to run away.
Nope.
So EC3 powerbomb Spud through a table.
And chokes his ass out.
And this is where the refs have to come in to separate him. And so theme music plays, he goes over to Spud, does his little simp hand gesture, show's over, I give this a C+.
Yep, this was a very good show.
This was a better show than usual. Better than the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's a long show done.
Yep.
So do you have anything to sell?
I suppose I'll make this show longer. Northeast Wrestling, WrestleFest 20, this Friday night in Newburgh, New York, at the NFA High School, featuring TKO Ryan against Vinny Marcellia, Mandy Leone against Deonna Purrazzo, Brian Anthony against Dan DeMann, Warbeard Hanson against Dijak, appearances from Mick Foley and Jim Cornette, Matt Hardy against Dalton Castle, which could be entertaining, Jerry Lawler against the Man Scout Jake Manning, and the main event is Rey Mysterio against Caleb Conley. The next night is Retribution in Bethany, Connecticut, featuring Hanson defending the NEW title should he retain against Big Jim Anderson, as well as Brian Anthony against Frankie Arion, Bobby Ocean against Travis Gordon against TKO Ryan, a mixed tag match involving Mandy Leone and Deonna Purrazzo, and much more. And March 19th, Limitless Wrestling returns to Orono, Maine, featuring a 4-team match involving the Beaver Boys, the Minutemen, the Influence, and the Hoods, as well as a match involving Brian Myers against Scott Wilde. And in the main event, it is Donovan Dijak, Anthony Green, and Ace Romero against EYFBO, which is Angel Ortiz and Mike Drastic, along with Chris Dickinson, and much more. And that's all I have.
Well, I don't have anything to sell other than I could say that I did write a letter to the GOP saying I'm done. Being a Republican, but that's it.
Yep.
That you can see on my blog, but that's about it.
We'll talk to you all next week then.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Miley, we're going for a walk.